Hey everyone, welcome back to Financial Futures. I've got some important news for you today. In November, you'll be receiving 2 SSI checks, but these will be the last of this type. Stay tuned because I've got all the details and a full breakdown coming your way. Before we dive in, can I ask for a quick favor? If you find this video helpful, please hit that thumbs up button right below. It really helps me out, and I appreciate it. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my updates. Your support means a lot. Now, let's get into the details. First off, I want to make it clear that everything we're discussing today pertains to SSI Supplemental Security Income. If you receive Social Security Retirement, SSDI, or any other benefits, hang tight, this video is specifically for SSI. So, what's going on with these 2 payments in November? Yes, you'll receive 2 SSI payments that month, but don't worry, this isn't something you need to be concerned about. It's all due to the way the calendar lines up, and trust me, there's actually some good news in all of this. First, let's talk about the first check on November 1. You'll be receiving your regular payment as usual, but here's where things change. December 1 falls on a Sunday. Because of that, you'll be getting your second November payment on November 29, which is the day after Thanksgiving. That's 2 checks in November. Now, December's payment will be a little different. Instead of receiving your check on December 1, your next payment will be on December 31, right before the new year, and here's the really exciting part. That December 31 payment will reflect your new, higher benefit amount thanks to the cost of living adjustment, or COLA. I know the COLA increase isn't huge this year, but hey, every little bit helps, right? That extra payment on the last day of the year will give you a small boost heading into 2024, and who doesn't love that? To sum it up, you're getting 2 SSI checks in November, one on the 1 and one on the 29, and your next check in December will be a higher amount thanks to COLA. So, no need to worry about your benefits changing negatively, this is all good news for you. Also, let me throw in a little tip. If you're like me and love finding deals, getting that extra payment right after Thanksgiving could be a great time to score some holiday sales. Next, we're diving into the newly released September CPI inflation report. There are some major takeaways you don't want to miss. The rate of headline inflation has now dropped to 2.4%, down from 2.5% last month. Core inflation, which excludes food and energy prices, slightly ticked up to 3.3% from 3.2%. Let's take a closer look at how inflation has been performing over the past 4 years. The Federal Reserve's goal remains to bring inflation down to 2.0%, and they are confident they can get there. Headline inflation, 2.4%. Core inflation, 3.3%. Energy inflation, down 6.8%. Services inflation, up 4.7%. Shelter inflation, up 4.9%. Food inflation, up 2.3%. These stats give us a clearer picture of the current economic landscape. But what does this mean for the Federal Reserve's next move? So, the Federal Reserve has its next meeting scheduled for November 7. Before this report, the market expected an 80.3% chance of a 0.25% rate cut in November, with a 19.7% chance that rates would remain unchanged. But after the report, the odds shifted. Now there's an 88.4% chance of a 0.25% cut, and only an 11.6% chance that rates will stay the same. And here's something important, no one is expecting a 0.5% cut this November, so that's off the table for now. Let me break this down in simple terms. If inflation had spiked, the Fed wouldn't have the room to cut rates. But since inflation is cooling, the market expects a 0.25% rate cut in November. And looking ahead to December, there's an 86.7% chance of another 0.25% cut. That's consistent with the Fed's projection of a total 0.5% cut by the end of the year. It seems likely we'll see 0.25% cuts in both November and December. Remember, the Fed has two main jobs: keeping inflation in check and supporting employment. Recently, their focus has shifted from inflation to employment. According to Philip Jefferson, the Fed's vice chair, the risks to inflation are diminishing, but employment risks are rising. Even though we saw a strong jobs report last month, adding 254,000 jobs, that doesn't mean the Fed will slow down on rate cuts. They're looking at the bigger trend, and the labor market still appears to be weakening. Fed Governor Adriana Kugler also emphasized that they're not making decisions based on just one jobs report. Instead, they're focusing on long-term trends, which supports more rate cuts moving forward. Now, here's something else to consider: consumer confidence is dropping. According to the latest report from the Conference Board, consumer confidence has been declining since 2021 and is now below pre-pandemic levels. This is another signal that the Fed might continue with its easier monetary policy. As I've mentioned before, once the Fed starts cutting rates, the next step could be quantitative easing, likely starting in 2025. This will likely increase inflation over time, but the effects won't be felt overnight. We'll probably see the full impact in 2026. So, what do you think of the latest inflation report and the Fed's strategy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share for more financial insights. Take care and have a great day. Stay tuned for more updates on financial futures. Don't forget to check out our latest videos on inflation, interest rates, and more.